As much as I don't know what the fuck this game is, I really wish I
I don't know
had.
my
It,
second
what is
question.
this?
Why did you listen to
Why she
them?
bust out the like this? Is clearly a drain. She bust out the bukkake drain like this, bruh. Why is she in a bukkake drain and
What
then
scares
come
me
out
the
like, bye y'all? What is going on, bro? What is this? What am I looking at the
most is
bukkake
that there
drain,
are
bro? Hey, real quick, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and also follow me on twitch.com. Name is Uncle Struggle at twitch.com. Go ahead, follow me over there so you're gonna see these reactions live. Let's get to the video. Sexualizing and body images in video games. I seen this video in my little own page months ago. This is 5 months old. Almost had 1 million views from Live Average Gamer. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen no content or nothing from this person, so I don't know how what the quality of this video is gonna be like. But it's a very interesting topic because, you know, me personally, I pretty much fall for every sexualization and body image in video games in history. You put a big waifu girl in the video game, I'm probably gonna play it, which is why I'm playing Stellar Blade. She ain't got big, but you know, she don't got big nothing actually. She just look good. Anyway, she's pretty, so it works on me a lot. I am a man. I don't know what to tell you. I can't turn it off. It's gonna work. I'm gonna probably buy that game. You know what I mean? And they do it with they do it with dudes too. Like Sephiroth is sexy as hell. That got all the women up in a tizzy all the time. Every time he come on, Kratos. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of sexy dudes too that they don't talk about. You know what I mean? But the women be working on me, bro. Every time. Like it be some mobile games. I see the ads. I'm like, damn. She look great. And then it's a mobile game. I'm like, yeah, you almost got me. You just I'm not an S word, ma'am. I am a great person, okay? Look, it's just certain things gonna always capture my attention, bro. And that's just one of them. I can't turn that off, man. How do I turn that off? You couldn't explain how to do that. But yeah, I want to see what his points are. I don't know if this like got an overall, I don't know if it's like a history video of sexualization or like a preachy thing where they're gonna tell us it's bad or good. I don't know what it is, so but we're gonna get into it.
I think deep down, everyone.
I was 15
this
seconds
was
in,
always
so
going to come up at some point, and I've always wrestled with how to approach the subject of sexualization in video games because I know I don't have the popular opinion here. Like, I know I'm not going to get an award for saying what I'm about to say. Think deep down, everyone knows it. Boobs are great. I still think back to the first time I saw Guinevere in Dark Souls. I mean, holy moly, praise the suns.
They just
this
like
character
that.
kind of stands out in Dark Souls, and there's a reason for it. During the Design Works interview for Dark Souls, the director, Hidetaki Miyazaki, said this, quote, "Talking of glamour, her breasts have nothing to do with me. They happened without my knowledge. It's all the artist's fault. I think I mentioned earlier, but I always seek a certain refinement in all my designs." Really? Yes, but the artist had such a happy look on his face, I didn't have the heart to stop him. End quote.
That artist was
There's
horny
something
as
about
hell.
the candid nature of Miyazaki's response that makes it seem even more grin-inducing. On the other hand, there are people that don't share this point of view and find these developments disturbing.
All right, well, man, let's see. How do chat feel about titties in video games, man? Is that should we stop that? Or y'all of the camp that all the women should just be flat-chested? Women that look like men, like Aloy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. I got you, but I don't think that's a great idea. I don't see the benefit there.
Especially in the context of female characters. It's difficult for me to understand, but I'm going to try to do my best to relay what I have heard on the matter. Doesn't have to be Dark Souls, could be Nikkei Goddess of Victory.
Hey, that's that one game that
Tomb Raider, Bayonetta, Dragon's Crown.
Yeah, I mean,
I could go on. Dead or Alive, The Witcher, Resident Evil, Street.
I don't care as long as they don't drag on the floor. This is a perfect freeze, by the way. And I don't think nobody should care. I like that opinion. I don't care. Yeah, I don't even give a fuck if they do drag on the floor, bro. But it's a certain group of people that let them tell it. No women should be sexy in any media ever. And I think they're all ugly people. Because it's not just women that says this. It's also dudes. I think that they also be getting offended that motherfuckers look good. Like, ain't my fault you ugly, nigga. Damn, I said it again. Ain't my fault you ugly, dude. Ain't my fault you ugly, ma'am, missus. Hey, somebody like you somewhere. Why can't I like these characters, bro? Like, damn, you. Nah, I don't want to roast them, man, because then they go say cyberbullying. But that's what I think. It's a lot of ugly people out here that be in the industry, and on Twitter, because Twitter.com got the most filthiest, ugliest people. Let me stop, bro. See, because I was already in an argumentative mood before I got here. And now it's coming out. Now it's coming out. Now I want to argue even more. But I'm just saying, I feel like nobody should care. That's all I'm saying. If people want to have sexy, if designers want to make sexy characters, it should not be a problem. That's all I'm saying.
Fighter, Final Fantasy, Soul Calibur, Honkai Star Rail, Nier Automata,
Red Alert 2 and
3, the Metal Gear series, Catherine, great game by the way, Blood Rain,
I'm slipping. I know. I just said the N word like GTA, 6 times a day.
Red Dead Redemption, and Duke Nukem.
I'm still below 25.
So anyways, my understanding is threefold. The first being that gamers feel misrepresented by the characters they play as, or even compare themselves to those characters and feel shame for not meeting
No. Okay. That's what crazy people do. Crazy people, I want to freeze it on something that's not black. That sounded crazy. Anyway, crazy people compare themselves to a video game character. There's not one character in a video game where I was like, you know what, bro? That's me. I'm him. Oh my God, bro. I see fucking fat ass Bob in Tekken 7. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's me. I'm a white man that does rolls and beats niggas' ass. 7. Beat people ass, man. Yeah, I've never seen like DeMarcus. It was like, that's me. I'm a dark skinned dude with straight back braids, and I kill people. Like, come on, man. That crazy people do that. I get representation, but making yourself into the character in a game or story or book or whatever you're doing is absolutely crazy.
Play as or even compare
that is insane. Unless you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and you self-inserted. I don't know why you feel like that.
I mean, duh, you don't have cat ears. The other is that the current state of gaming is nurturing males, in particular in the direction of misogyny, by holding women to unreasonable standards set on screen.
Another take for crazy men. If say you watching one of these games and you see a perfect body, like impossibly perfect body woman, and you like, why don't women in real life not hang because gravity doesn't exist? You're also crazy. And you need to know what real women are. It's not like, bro, it's not that hard. These are two same crazy people takes. Like, dudes are dumb if you think like this, bro. I've never seen a girl in a video game was just like, yeah, man, all women should just be like this because this is realistic. Nobody sees Tifa and be like, yeah, all women do this. All women have no stomach and then surprisingly E-cup titties that don't go nowhere when she walk. Like, bro, come on, man. That's another crazy take.
Objects of sexualization or rewards to be possessed. The third is that they just fail to be immersed in the game because it's plainly unrealistic to them. Now, I'm not perfect, and that's least crazy. That's not that crazy. But obviously, being unimmersed makes sense. My bias, as any human being does. If you give me a well-reasoned comment or correction,
because like honestly, bro, if I'm playing a super over-sexualized game, I'm very much not gonna be immersed in it. Like, I'm talking over-sexualized, like borderline hentai game.
I may even do a follow-up video, but you also have to remember that we don't have the time to dive into the nuance of every perspective within the bucket of for and against in every scenario.
So basically, it's a whiny thing. Life is not fair and make it fair regardless where I live. For the first point he mentioned, yes. For the second point, dudes just not knowing how women work and real life work, that get them the doll. Get them a doll. They need a doll. They need a sex doll because they don't know what women are and they probably never will.
For example, some of you might be fine with Bayonetta because her sexuality is rationalized in a way that makes sense to you, but maybe you find the scantily clad katana from Mortal Kombat 9
I don't care too much about these dudes to recommend help.
That the only possible reasoning is
Get a
that
doll.
men find
Go
it
away.
hot. I mean, it doesn't exactly take a
Get a
soothsayer
doll.
to
Go away.
put that one together, but we'll get to that. I first want to tackle physical representation, and I think that this one is generally expressed more so by females, and yeah, I kind of feel the same. I, as a male, struggle to relate to most male video game characters. Most guys that are gamers struggle with this as well. They just don't talk about it. This is going to take a while, but let me cook. I'm doing something here.
Brother.
This is me in my 20s, and then I did many years of gym, and finally
this is me in my 20s.
My first fitness competition in
Guys,
2019.
this is me. I'm in my 20s.
This is me then. I don't look like this at the moment. The reality is that maintaining a low body fat physique is really hard work, especially if you're trying to hold on to your muscle mass
oh God, bro.
using steroids.
My new thing is just telling niggas to get dolls at this point.
There isn't any guarantee that I would blow up. I mean, I get bigger and my jawline would widen, but the thing that most people don't know about steroids is exactly how prevalent it is. And it's not just bodybuilding. I still talk to people that didn't know that Arnold Schwarzenegger was openly on gear and everyone competing in Mr. Olympia when he was competing was also on gear. In reality, if you look like you belong on stage and you're very close to 90 kilograms as a man in the world of bodybuilding, then I have my doubts. Though I am being very loose here, there are some very average-looking steroid users that don't have the genetic talent or know-how to be exceedingly impressive, or they could seem unimpressive because, well, they've got quite a bit of fat on them. A lot of them are purposely trying to keep these things under wraps for obvious reasons. It's a topic that is surrounded by a lot of taboo and nonsense that gets in the way of clear consensus. Now, what makes this even more sinister is that our current day and age makes it very easy to take advantage of people that don't know this. There are tons of influencers and movie stars that have been on gear and then claim
it's probably
that
a lot of people that don't know that they
they are selling fitness programs while claiming that their physique is obtainable.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you.
A better physique is obtainable, but maybe not that particular one. Liv, where are you going with this? Okay, I'm getting there. The point is that the collective majority opinion on what a peak natural male looks like is unrealistic. It's just not on the cards for a lot of men, not without drugs. This is Eugene Sandow, considered the father of bodybuilding, but also he lived before steroids, so you can trust that he's 100% a
This
real
is actually
man.
a very solid body. Like, hey, what is wrong with
more
it?
people are in the gym now, so there's a greater genetic pool.
What is his point? I think I lost the plot while we was talking. Is his point that also men can't relate to the body standards in video games? Is that his point? Because if that's his point, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, it is physical representation male. That is his point here. Okay, I lost the plot for a little bit. My fault.
Impressive physiques, and you could reasonably say that sports science has improved to make bodybuilding more efficient.
Yeah, I mean, and he's right, but nobody cares. That's the issue. Don't nobody care when it's a dude, brother. Nobody gives a damn. Y'all can, it's certain people that give a damn. It's like 15 of y'all, and even I don't care. I'm a dude. I know I can't relive. I could never be Kratos, bro. I'm never fighting gods. We don't care. Like,
and
bro,
this is true. Something to consider, but I don't think it's astronomically different. To give you an idea, the winner of the WNBF Bodybuilding Federation, which is one of the few that does random drug tests, you can still cheat, but it's better to be charitable, you know? Anyways, the winner in 2023 is Bada Lakan, and he weighs in at 86 kilograms.
I didn't know people wanted to relate to Cloud.
Pounds on stage.
You know what? Cloud's physique is actually very attainable. You just gotta be like a high metabolism short king. You could be Cloud, because Cloud's not buff or none of that. He just got he's got a little anime face and some hair that stick up. Now, if you're trying to be like Kratos, or you know what I mean, you trying to be like one of these Tekken characters like King or Fang, like the stupid, stretchy, swole muscles. Yeah, or Barry. Yeah, you're not gonna be Barry. Like, yeah, nah, you can't be Barry. don't compare yourself to me. He's like
Arnold
8
Schwarzenegger
foot.
was 107
8 foot thick as
kilograms on
hell.
stage, and Mr. Olympia of 2021, Big Ramy, is 140 kilograms on stage. Broadly speaking, the biggest guy on gear is approaching double the muscle mass of the biggest natural bodybuilder. We need to talk about something else as well. The average body fat percentage of an optimal athlete is around 14% in males. Generally speaking, your abs start to really show at around 12%. This is the point where people will start to notice, but high-level bodybuilding requires single-digit figures, around 4% at the most professional level. Here is a barbarian from Dragon's Crown. This character is in single digits of body fat. I don't know of a single professional athlete that stays in single digits all year round because it's so incredibly difficult to maintain and it's simply not beneficial. So let's talk about male characters from a video game. I'm going to choose Soldier 76 from Overwatch. I mean, he's basically the Captain America of the universe,
he looks normal
but he's also the average-sized male body in the game. This works with Hanzo and Cassidy as well. Here's a side-by-side of Soldier 76 next to Frank Zane, 3-time Mr. Olympia, and yes, he was on gear, but he's also considered the father of aesthetics and competed directly with the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, obviously, there's going to be no perfect perspective here, and we're going to ignore the massive hands and forearms.
I think there's a body type for everybody. I mean, like everybody got a preference for body types. Like you can see that what I'm saying is true, because every time we watch like a My 600 Pound Life type beat, it be the most I would like to say meaner words than this, but it be the most biggest people, like can't get out of bed, people rolling down step, people with husbands and wives. There's somebody for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Any body type gonna find somebody, man.
Overwatch characters, but I measured out Frank Zane's shoulders, waist, and thigh, and then traced them over Soldier 76. What do you know? It's almost like the average Overwatch hero has a very similar frame and musculature to bodybuilders of the golden era. What's crazy to me is that Frank Zane was known for his narrow waist, and even though Frank Zane has the more flattering angle, he still doesn't have Soldier 76 beat. My point here is that the point of reference for many artists when they go to pencil out these peak male physiques starts beyond what is naturally achievable for most men, especially men that are not spending substantial time pursuing these physiques. Now, for full disclosure, you can definitely find male characters that fit more realistic ideals. Ethan Winters from Resident Evil and Nathan Drake from the Uncharted series come to mind, but all these guys are classically handsome, and I'm gonna tell you something. You can change your mass, you can get some abs, you can put on some muscle, but the face you got is the face you got, and I ain't got that face. Also, a lot of games that try to appeal to more Eastern standards don't really value muscularity as much as Western cultures, but rather slim, tall figures with more of a focus on aspects like face symmetry, eye size, and fair skin. The takeaway is that there are tons of male video game characters that don't even have naturally or unnaturally achievable physiques. Most of them are nowhere near the average male, and what's scary is that the general population are largely incompetent in discerning this, whether it be from the perspective of a male or a female. In fact, there is no study on this. Literally no one talks about it. For the sake of fairness, what I'm talking about here is applicable to women as well. For example, women retain a higher body fat percentage naturally, and they can't get as low as men without dying, but women generally have their abs show at a higher body fat percentage. Here is an example of a bikini pro. What's important to note is 1, her physique is very impressive. I believe she's a natural athlete, but there are no guarantees. What I can tell you is that one thing is real. Boobs are mostly fat, and you need to lose fat to show definition. You don't get to choose where fat comes off of your body. All this to say that if you drop body fat for definition as a woman, your boobs are going to diminish substantially. Compare this to Miss Olympia winner Maureen Blanquisco, who appears to have not lost any mass in the ordeal. For those that can't do simple addition, breast implants are extremely prominent and sought after. And like steroids, by the way, a lot of bikini pros do use performance enhancers, but we're not getting into that now. But like steroids, it's more than you think. I mean, I sort of feel like people know in the back of their minds, they just prefer not to address it since, you know, it's harder to hide and they like it. Society approves. Anyways, if you're a female, you can pick one. Boobs or definition. And if that's not acceptable,
damn, bro, what was this game?
You can pick one. Boobs.
Golly, what game is this? Hey, put me on. This is probably some stupid mobile game.
Or definition. And if that's not acceptable, then you're going to have to go under the knife. Female video game characters seem to have it
look
all
like
without any of the compromises. By the way, Zarya and Jumper Queen are on gear. Sorry, not sorry. Women don't produce enough testosterone to get that big without help. Oh. And then there's Abby from The Last of Us Part 2, who as far as I can tell is the only person in the apocalypse that has access to PEDs, a rigid training regime, and ample protein to sustain that otherworldly muscle mass. The primary driver for muscle growth is free testosterone, and comparing the high end of testosterone in women versus the low end in men is 11.6%. Women have 11.6% of what men have in terms of potential for muscle growth if we're being charitable. Now don't get that number twisted, it's not 11% of muscle mass, but 11% of the hormone that is the driver for muscle growth. Yada yada yada, no one cares, Liv. Women that lift are kinda gross. This is also Marine Blanquisco, by the way.
I am a adamant lover of women who lift. I do like it. I am a fan. Okay? He probably wasn't saying it to himself, but yeah, I mean the YouTubers, YouTube comments be hating. But I am a fan.
By the way, I think a lot of people make snap judgments about what people look like on stage. You train for years and years and you work toward a single season of being lean and then you fall back to a sustainable body fat percentage. I think one of the most harmful perceptions that females have adopted for themselves is that the pursuit of becoming physically stronger will make them unattractive. I cannot find a single scenario.
Honestly, to the overarching majority of men, if like I'm just going with the straight narrative, like if these girls are straight, if they trying to look good for dudes, most men don't like that muscly buff shit. And that's the truth. Look, as much as I like it, I can't make the next man like it too. But I get why they think that, because if you trying to look good for dudes, that ain't the way to do it, because the most dudes ain't gonna like it. You know what I mean? But you gonna, like I said, there's somebody for everybody. Somebody's gonna like it. You gonna find me or something. Somebody's gonna mess with it. You know what I mean? But like I said, overall, most dudes ain't liking it. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Raven? Now I'm in love with, who is that? Can I look her up and not get banned? Oh yeah! Oh my God! Fire, bro! Fire, bro! But you fire! But I bet money you post her on Twitter. Let me move my dumb ass out the way. Y'all don't want to see me. I bet money you post her on Twitter. 80% of the comments are gonna be like, "Ew, gross, yuck! I don't want to see that. Ew, she's a man. That's manly. She's like a boy. I don't want to rub those boy yitties." Yeah, you know what I mean? And those are, unfortunately, those are dudes. So we gotta, their opinion, hate, as much as I hate it, matters. You know what I'm saying? In this specific scenario. But all I was saying is I get why women would be worried about getting too much muscle, because then they're gonna be unattractive, because most dudes think that shit's unattractive. You know what I mean?
Where it hasn't made a female more attractive and more capable outside of the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Like I said, these extremes are unsustainable, but it ties nicely into wrapping up this detour. Real life is full of bodies that are not sustainable, or even achievable for the average person, male or female. Video games and other mediums take these unachievable shapes even further from our reach. But I do think that there is a fundamental difference between how different people see this. I kind of see it as the space between perfection and reality. Two lines.
Bro, what is these games, man? I wanna play these games. What is this? Give me this game.
Influence and draw close, but you never can align. My thought, and I think a lot of people share this, is that if you don't have a sample of perfection to aim for, you never draw close to it. That's why a lot of guys admire Arnold Schwarzenegger's achievements and try to emulate him, even if they know.
Bro, this is disgusting. I could not have his body. Look at this. Look at this big fat. This man got a dick on his arm, bro. Like, dog, I would be terrified if my vein was this big popping out my arm. This is disgusting to me. I just couldn't do it, bro. This is not. Hear me out. No, I'm not. You can like it. You like it. I could not see myself with this body. I would hate myself. I would hate waking up, taking a shower, and see this fat ass vein in my arm. Like I would try to stab it or something. Let the gas out, or I would be sick.
A lot of guys admire Arnold Schwarzenegger's achievements and try to emulate him, even if they know they can't do it without drugs. Even though they choose to stay natural, they still want that inspiration to look up to. I'll never be as muscular or as handsome or as skilled as the male characters I play as in video games.
But never that big, bro.
But it's still beneficial to know that I could look more like that. I can become more handsome if I work at it, and I can be more skilled if I apply myself. And there's a fundamental good in having that carrot dangled if you see it for what it is. I think it's also fine to be inspired and just do nothing with it. Like, I can play God of War 3 and not go to the gym afterwards. I don't need to be Kratos light, but it's nice to dream for a moment. Now, on the other hand, maybe you're in the camp that sees these characters and people as these impossible standards that you need to meet to be approved of by society. Bro. And my first question is this: who told you that? You want to know my second question? Why did you listen to them? What scares me the most is that there are some
game, bro? Come on, man, y'all. As much as I don't know what the fuck this game is, I really wish I had.
Know my second question? Why did you listen to them?
She bust out the like this is clearly a cum drain. She bust out the bukkake drain like this, bruh. Why is she in a bukkake drain and then coming out like, bye y'all? What is going on, bro? What is this? What am I looking at the bukkake drain, bro? What's that carry this? Come on, dog. Yo, she's sick.
Perspective like a backpack of bricks, and they want everyone else to stop and fill their backpacks with bricks too. And if you're wondering why people, and I mean people very deliberately here, male, female, whatever, if you're
what's crazy, Hindle? I have that game somewhere. What is it? Liga Maiden, there you go. I got 12 minutes on this game. I literally downloaded it, launched it. Look at it, freaky. Downloaded it, launched it, and closed it. I did not do nothing on this game. Is it that wild? Is it that freak? Like, I'm scared to scroll down. Oh yeah, nah. Yeah, they wildin'. Oh yeah, this game, actually, why didn't I play this, bruh? What in the hell is going on here? Oh, nah. Oh, shit. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here.
Why people won't take on your perspective, it's because it's harmful to them. You're the one that is peddling a dangerous ideal. Video game characters are not an accurate reflection of us. Not in the physical sense. Not by a long shot. Instead, they are far more a reflection of an ideal of beauty meant to please, entertain, and provoke inspiration. They have never been a finish line to cross. You're not supposed to get to the point that you look like Lara Croft and then think to yourself,
I feel like Lara Croft is Lara Croft not really that unattainable. Am I tripping? Like I've seen women, like multiple women that look at a Lara Croft body, and it don't even seem like they like maintaining it super difficulty. Like, you know what I mean? Lara Croft got a normal body to me, or a possible body. How about that? You know what I mean?
I can finally be loved and accepted. But, and there is a but, female characters are more often sexualized than male characters. So I can't understand that if you're a female, maybe you don't.
Let me see. Let me see in my brain. Cause there are. Oh, okay. Yeah, I give it that. They are more often sexualized. I thought they were saying they more often sexy. Cause like there's no real ugly dude characters, male characters in the games either, but often sexualized. Yeah, I can give you that.
Feel comfortable with Kasumi's massive knockers knocking around on screen in skin-tight revealing clothing. You don't see the art. It's not pleasing. In fact, maybe it's just kind of gross to you, which again is difficult for me to grasp, but I'm trying here. You might also feel like female silhouettes aren't as varied as male silhouettes in video games, and I'd say I broadly agree with that assessment. But if you...
Who is Wesker? Hold on. Who's Wesker? Oh yeah, another dude that's got pretty hard body standards to keep up with, I'm sure. He just explained how hard to keep a six-pack was, and there he is with a six-pack. I know I'm in the way, but he got a six-pack. I'm not moving. Yeah.
ask me if it's more socially acceptable to alter the appearance of men for comedic value, I'd also agree. So we find ourselves at an impasse here. Majority-wise, males like sexualization of female video game characters a lot. Not always, and not in every scenario, but we like it a lot. I'm not going to lie. Females don't tend to like it as much, but sometimes they do. Let's address the elephant in the room. Are most video games marketed towards males? Yes. Even though the most current survey I can find in 2023 showed 46% of gamers.
Okay. If we being realistic, this is probably because they counted mobile gamers. Just being real, man. I have no problem with females in the space of gaming, but I highly doubt if we talking about consoles and PC gaming, if 46 is not true. I ain't going cap. If they counted mobile, then yeah, I can see this. This makes sense. But I highly doubt that 46% of all gamers, console, PC wise, like I'm talking Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. Yeah, it ain't 46%, bro.
In the US are female. I'd say at a glance that most games cater to male tastes. When I say that though, I don't mean it in the exclusive sense. For example, Call of Duty generally appeals more to males, but if you take a look on Twitch, you're going to see that there are tons of females.
I love mobile games. My mom's sister
all
play them as well.
During the 80s,
and look, peep this. My grandma plays mobile games. She ain't never owned a system or a PC in her life. If, like I said, if you count in mobile gamers, yeah, that stat makes sense. But if you're not, that stat is wrong.
These video games moved from the electronics section of stores to the toy section, and because toys were separated into male and female, video game consoles were placed in the boys section. This is one theory behind the gender skew in marketing. Furthermore, only 3% of people working in video games were female in the 80s. I personally worked in the video game industry in 2007 as a quality assurance tester for Orin Developments. The guys that made the RTS Dark Reign. Yeah, I know you don't remember. My experience was that the video game industry is not highly paid and extremely volatile. And yeah, I know a QA tester is kind of bottom of the barrel, but I also know what the programmers were earning, and it wasn't great. I still remember sleeping under my desk and having to wait until midnight to test a build that had to be approved by the start of the next workday. The truth is that video games weren't born as this extremely lucrative endeavor. Sure, the industry is huge now, and I'd hope that the value of workers has gone up, but my point is that many people that got into careers in video games back in the day were passionate people that were largely going against the norm of the time. It was never cool to be into video games. There are even records of some game devs leaving their names off of the credits of their games as to not affect their day job. Hideo Kojima told his friends he worked in finance when he started working at Konami. It was often met with disapproval from family and friends,
be a gamer that plays games
frivolous.
Just for that.
The view would change over time, but my point is that it wasn't a desirable career for anyone that didn't really want it. Am I saying that women wouldn't have what it takes to work in video games back in the day? No, but I think that there was a high level of risk, male or female, and I think even as a guy, I'm not confident that I would want to take up a high-risk, low-paying career for personal fulfillment if I had other options, or if I could find that personal fulfillment somewhere else. I'm not using this as a super sexualized. Why females didn't really engage with the video game industry.
Thank you for that raid, gang.
Illustrate the mindset recording a video right now, so we ain't
got no alerts. But thank you so much for that raid. I was just
on the page and say, oh,
we're watching a video about sexualization and body images in video games, just in case anybody is confused about what's going on. We about halfway through the video, and there's been some real interesting topics and interesting takes. You know what I mean? If y'all want to kick it with us and see how this play out.
Doing this thing as much as men, that's bad. Maybe
it's called Dragon Crown Pro.
Maybe it should have been better.
It's a cool little art style.
While we're balancing out genders in every career, we should probably help out sewage disposal. As you can see, gaming is doing way better.
Oh, wait.
We should probably help out sewage disposal. As you can see,
game developments by gender. Okay, so it's mostly males by gender in development spaces. 24% males, 3 non-binary, 3% non-binary. What's the purple? Other, I guess.
See, gaming is doing
another graph. Sewage disposal, workers, statistics. Why is this here? So niggas that dump shit. Okay.
Way better than.
I don't know. I don't get it.
The sewage sector, with 24% of developers being female in 2019 in comparison to only 4.5% of sewage disposal workers being female in 2023.
What does this matter?
The next question is, why is it that only 24% of game developers are female? Why isn't it closer to 50% like the stat for gamers? Well, I think it's because they don't want to be. A lot of people online would like to assert that we have nurtured women away from video games, that the hobby has been gatekept by males, and that careers have been denied.
Honestly, I could kind of see where you're coming from, because I always hear that game development is actually not as good as a job as people think it is, and I definitely see a lot of career-driven women go for better jobs. I ain't gonna lie to you, like I rarely see a career-driven woman going for some mid job. You know what I mean? Unless it's like something they super duper passionate about, like teaching. Because that's like not the best job out here, but you got to be real passionate and love them kids to want to teach them kids. So I feel like for it to be a woman in the gaming industry, you gotta be passionate about games. And we just seen the layout of women to males in gaming, so it makes sense that the developers ain't. I mean, they don't got that many developers because it ain't that many. Well, not that many. It's not the ratio of developers to players as women is also like they kind of similar. I mean. This game is fire. It's the only platinum game I like. Well, one of the only platinum games I
do think there has been gatekeeping. Sure. I mean, I know Blizzard has been in the news for its frat boy culture. Even when Blizzard hired
they saying it's not what they want to do. That's what I'm saying.
Of the company, she
soon stepped down from the role because
she realized that she was there as a token gesture
job you
for
gotta be
solving
passionate
the current
about.
lawsuits. You can also throw Riot and Ubisoft in there too. I'm not here to argue that racism and sexism doesn't exist and that it doesn't need to be rooted out where it's found. But there is something that the gatekeeping narrative doesn't account for. See this game? This is Bright Memory Infinite. It's a first-person shooter with awesome action combat set in China.
When is made by one person?
For 2 hours, but what's remarkable about it is that it is made by a solo male developer. You don't know this game? Okay, have you heard of Minecraft? Developed in 2009 by a solo male developer, Marcus Persson. These are only two, but Stardew Valley, Cave Story, Turbo Overkill, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Choo Choo Charles, Mechs vs. Kaiju's, Getting Over It. The list goes on. The one thing that all these games have in common is that they are created by solo male developers. There's no gatekeeping in solo development. I mean, it would be pretty difficult to create a sexist or racist environment in a company where you are the CEO and the only employee. So then where are the games made by female solo developers? Well, they do exist, but they are few and far between. The Ranch of Rivershine is one. I found two others, but one was for mobile only and the other was still in development. I wish them the best of luck.
Damn.
The point is that when our general...
That point kind of makes sense. Damn. So if it was like consistent all the way through, then more women would be doing it. Then yeah, it do kind of make sense that they don't want to do this shit. And that's fine. Like, I get not wanting to be a fucking video game developer. It don't pay. It don't pay like that, especially if your game don't blow. It's kind of a waste of fucking time, or like I said, a passion project. So I get it.
Population is left to their own devices. The people that really want to make video
Quest,
games and have the drive to make them successful are males. Again, I don't want to throw shade at the few female solo developers here. Can women do it? Absolutely. But most of them don't seem to want to do it enough to make a dent in the comparison. Researching this video took me about 5 minutes to find the games made by male solo devs. By comparison, it took me over an hour of combing the internet to find the one female solo dev game in r/gamer girls. Now, I don't really have any theories here. I'm not a psychologist. I'm certainly not tinfoil hat enough to assert that women have been brainwashed into thinking that solo dev games are only for men. So I have nothing to offer here other than I think women are less attracted to video game development than men, even on their own terms. Some people will only be happy once the number of female devs is 50% or greater in their favor because they believe that finally video games will heal. They will finally reflect the quote-unquote right ideas.
What do they mean by heal? What is video games unhealthy right now? Like, is the take of video games that they are like garbage? Because niggas, I mean, I said it again. That's like 11. People been playing video games for years. They've been good for years. Like, where is the damage? Like, I could see the AAA space getting damaged. Like, that's the AAA games quality are getting lower and lower, but What is having 50% women gonna do? Like, what is that gonna make the games better? Like, how do y'all know that? What if it make it worse? What if it like where is the healing coming from? They don't even want to be here. So having 50% of women that don't want to be here, that's gonna make it worse. They don't want to work these jobs. These wage slave jobs for dudes. Like come on, bro. Come on, man. Right? Just, everything being equal is not good. All right. They don't want to be here, so why are you trying to get them here, bro? That's like saying, hey, man, you know what, man? I'm tired of all these men working in coal mines, bro. 50% of women need to work in coal mines, 50% of men. The women don't want to be there, bro. The dudes didn't even want to be there, but they just doing it because they dudes. Like, come on, man. That's not going to make nothing better. The people still not going to want to be there.
I'm not so sure about that. You might recall this is just a detour. We're here to talk about why games tend to cater more toward male tastes when it comes to sexualization. So yeah, more men making games is definitely a part of it, but, and this is an important but, men are simply easier outcomes? To please. I mean, it's literally really as easy as removing some of the armor or showing more skin. Going back to Bright Memory.
What is this? What is this game? This Nikki? This is Nikki. This is that game that the Wuthering Waves people made first. This is a freaky game. This is a very freaky game, bro. This is Nikki. Okay. This is why they got so much money to make this game, to make Wuthering Waves, because it is freak game.
The quote unquote right ideas.
I see what y'all be playing in y'all spare time, right?
I'm not so sure about that. You might recall this is just a detour. So
I ain't gonna go that far back.
Please. I mean, it's literally as easy as removing some of the armor or showing more skin.
We are very easy to please.
Look how easy it is to get.
We so easy to please. This is how easy we is to please, bro. I have a alternate Twitter account where it's not safe for work material, bro. These motherfuckers will retweet the same tweet they posted yesterday, and I'll view it like it's a new tweet, like I ain't never seen it before. Like, oh my God, this is great. I just seen it yesterday. Then they do it in a week later, and I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Then they do it a month later. Oh my God, this is great. Oh, they can keep going over and over and over. And I just think the same stimulation over and over in my head, bro. We are super simple when it comes to this, bro.
Money from us.
It's that easy.
If this didn't work, it wouldn't be here.
It's that easy, bro.
What was the biggest marketing point for Resident Evil Village? I'll give you 2 hints. This is a horror game. Lady Dimitrescu is barely in the game.
That's the only reason I bought this game.
People were tripping when they found her really attractive, but you know, then she picked me up and strung me up, and it was like my world changed. I was so confused on whether I should run away or spend forever in her chambers. Moving on, why was Megan Fox dressed like this in the Diablo 4 marketing? Every GTA game has a female in suggestive poses on the cover art from Vice City onwards. Here's some DLC for Dead or Alive 6. So yeah, sex sells,
still don't nobody play this game, bro.
To sell sex to males. Literally edit some art assets, change some poses, get a voice actor to make a suggestive line or two, and it will pay dividends. Sometimes this can backfire, but I think it largely works if you don't go too far with it. And yeah, it's not necessary, but it's free money if the shoe fits, or if you can make it
have
fit.
A dude on their knees.
How do you attract females to a product using sex?
Like, this is that easy, question. Bro.
Do you add genitals and give them physics so
as much as my goal on social media has been to control like the outlets of lust that I have. That's why I cleaned up my Twitter, and I don't follow none of the people that be posting all that crazy stuff no more on my Twitter, because I was like, all right, I'm tired of doing it. I'm tired of lusting after people. It's really not worth it. It's really not good for nobody's mental. And I got so much better. But if I started to introduce that stuff on my Twitter page again, and it will still work. Like, as much as I don't want it to work, it works. Like, it's like, bro, I'm an addict. I can't cut this off, bro. I could never see it for 5 years straight. I could never see a pair of titties, and then I come back and see one more, and I'm right back where I started, geeking over again, bro. Like, dog, it just don't cut off, man. It'll work forever. Like, dog.
Under the clothes of male characters,
you was playing DOA?
Take characters' shirts off? Do you make them wear turtleneck sweaters? Different. If it was for my wife, I'd dress the character like they're from a K-drama, and I'd make them do chores around the house without being asked. But I'd leave one dirty plate on the table, and then when the girl goes to pick it up, he quickly grabs her hand and pulls her in, and piano music starts to swell. He smiles and looks into her eyes for exactly 3.5 seconds before saying, "I'll take care of it." Spend more money online, please.
Bro.
Like, I know this would be interesting to my wife, but what about my neighbor? What about my
games.
female
I played
work
Dead or
colleagues? How
Alive
many
6 when
women
it
would
came
this
out,
work
but I
for?
stopped
And how
immediately.
long do these interactions
It really
need to
wasn't
go
a
for?
game I
How
looked-
much money would
looked
I
into.
have
Well,
to
not
spend
looked
to put
into,
this
but
in a video game that has nothing to
didn't
do
wanna,
with romantic
keep playing.
dramas? For example, Dead or Alive is a fighting game, two people beating each other up, but you can make it sexual for males very easily. What is the cost of doing the same for females, and how much will it eat into the core design and game pacing? I'd actually love to see it done. Imagine
you know what I'll say. Tekken don't really got too much over sexualized women. I'm trying to think of one, and I don't think Tekken has any like super sexualized women. Obviously, you can make the bikini fits and you can mod it. That's what I did, but they actually pretty good with this. They actually don't do like go over the top. I would say it's more over sexualized dudes than women in that game.
Fighting game. So yeah, my point is that if I was thinking about game development
DOA?
in terms of cost of both money and time,
It's
I think
both
it's
of
just far easier to use sex
They
to
got
sell to
dudes
males
and
and
girls
try
in
to
DOA.
strike a balance where it doesn't hurt. I mean, there's a chance that if I make it hypersexual, I can get even more money, even if I get less sales.
It
thanks
did.
to
It really
DLC
did
and
hurt
whale
the brand.
culture.
It definitely
I
hurt.
think that at the
That
end of
hurt
the day,
the
women's
brand,
tastes.
the legacy, and having $2,000 worth of DLC hurt it too. Like, bruh, that's probably what cooked it. You know what I mean? Like, bruh, it is insane. That's why I said, how you homophobic, you be staring at men's meat for hours. Facts. I'll be playing Tekken. How many hours I got in Tekken? How many hours I've been staring at men? I got 461 hours staring at men. Like, dog, yeah. Gay wear. I mean, homophobic wear. People love DOA 5. I actually like that one more than I like 6. Not gonna lie.
Are far more, let's say, complex and individually
I
specific.
played 5 more than I played 6.
They aren't totally specific, but I think that they are
I
more
literally played
specific
6,
than it
picked
is
it up
for
a
the
couple hours
average
and put it
male.
down,
And
never
hey,
went back.
that's not a bad thing, but it's an expensive, high-risk decision that makes it unattractive for most businesses that are trying to make a video game. This sounds like a lot of opinion, but here's where I'm coming from. In 2013, a study was carried out where they showed 4 wristwatch advertisements to both women and men. These advertisements had various levels of sexual content and prices attached to the wristwatches. To summarize, women found the ads with sexualization distasteful, but were slightly more accepting if the price of the watch was higher. Men's reactions were more accepting of sexual content, and the price of the watch had no bearing on their reaction. I'm going to quote this part here as it relates to what we're talking about. To quote, in order to appeal to women, marketers using sexual images in their ads should therefore display sex in the broader context of committed relationship, rather than promoting recreational sex, according to authors of the study. They linked the findings back to the sexual economic psychology theory, which infers men see sex as an end in itself, while women link sex to a relationship commitment. The ad could, for example, position the product itself as a signal of commitment, such as a romantic gift from the man to a woman, although there was no improvement in attitude if the gift was offered by a woman to a man, or show the idea of intimacy or a relationship prior to any sexual image being shown. End quote. Now, I said that most businesses don't want to dabble in trying to use sexualization to sell video games to females, but I never said it doesn't exist. Dante from Devil May Cry 3 might be the best example of an
have you
attempt
heard
to
of Genshin
sexualize
Impact?
a male character in a way
have you
that
heard
is
of
more
any
appealing
gacha
to
game
females.
ever?
Also, there is a whole video game
Shit, they
genre.
got
Otome
dudes
or
like that
mating
too.
games are video games that usually take the format of a visual novel where you are trying to romance one or more male characters. These mostly play out in the same way most romances play out in written form. I think
You know what's fucked up though? It's a very crazy stigma around women who play games like this. And even I kind of agree. The women who play games like this, you stay far, far away from. And I'm pretty sure for the women, if it's a dude that's playing dating sims like this, I'm pretty sure y'all want to stay far away from them too. I don't know what they be doing, but if you playing the dating sim like this, I don't want no parts, bro. I think you are very crazy.
A lot of people will not strictly call these video games, but hey, that's for you to decide on an individual level. While the male characters in these games are not usually sexualized, they do exist for the sole purpose of romance for women. This is as close as we get to men as rewards. I'll caveat here to say that RPG games that allow you to make your own character and allow you to create relationships and romances tend to be the best middle ground. A good recent example of this may be Baldur's Gate 3, but there are many others.
Lit.
The key
Everybody in
ingredient is
BG
that
was
the more
lit.
relationship building
Everybody
there
was
is, the more
sexualizing
likely
that
it
game.
is to appeal to females in a sexual manner. Anyways, we've established that more males are in the game development industry than females, and I think I've established my point that it's easier to target men's wallets with sexualization. I think this is enough to explain why there are more sexualized female characters, but we haven't yet talked about concern number 2. The concern that this sexualization nurtures men toward misogyny and incentivizes men to hold women to an unreasonable standard as sexual objects. At this point, we need to take a step back because there is a difference between sexualization and sexual objectification, and we should probably talk about women as rewards. An often quoted example of a female video game character that is sexualized but not objectified is Bayonetta. Even though Bayonetta is full of innuendo, sass, and, well, female nudity, she isn't considered as an objectified character. For starters, the designer, Marie Shimazaki, is a female. Actually, kind of a stupid point now that I think about it. Moving on, the argument is that Bayonetta's sexuality as a character is intrinsic to her confident personality and explained to a satisfactory level by the lore of the game. For example, Bayonetta's outfit is actually her hair, and all scenes where she is naked, she is using her hair to summon a demon, and her hair is literally the mask of the demon. Further arguments are that her sexual displays aren't for the benefit of any male characters in the game, and that her sexuality is self-serving, powerful, and somewhat mysterious. By contrast, let's look at Rappy from Nikkei Goddess of Victory.
So is that like so when it's like when it's for yourself, it's fine, right? So that's like I see that a lot, especially on Twitter. If you're naked on Twitter because you like to be naked, like the nudists on Twitter, they genuinely get a lot of love. Yeah, I mean, just for existing, they ain't selling the product. They're not boosting their fans or OnlyFans. They genuinely get a lot of love. But as soon as you go to the sex worker side, man's in the comments, you are a whore. You're selling your body for the same price as a McDouble. You're this, you're that, you're fat, you're too skinny. You're like, it's cooking time for them people, bro. So if when it's for attention or money or a mixture of both, it's bad. But when it's for yourself, I guess that's when everybody's cool with it.
For all the Nikkei characters in game, all of them are female. So like we can see Rappy sort of has a military uniform and some guns, so you can surmise she's a soldier, but the stockings and the skirt that reveals her peach every time she turns around have no context to the story of Nikkei or Rappy's personality. In fact, her attire is totally at odds with her straight-laced personality and affinity for order. This would be a case where a video game character would be considered sexually objectified. She is presented the way she is, not because of the story, setting, her personality, or character, but because her sexuality is a reward for the player. She is an object to be enjoyed. As you earn or buy currency in Nikkei, you then use that currency to have the chance to own one of these sexy characters. In Nikkei, you are their commander. All of the Nikkei like you and display some level of romantic interest in you. They basically adore you. These characters are the reward for playing the game. Therefore, women as rewards. The idea is that video games teach males through gameplay to see women as objects because there are...
No, they don't. Video games have never, ever gave me that lesson. Never have I ever played a video games where there's like, this woman is an object, right? No, they don't teach that. People with that preconceived notion just continue to roll with that notion because that's how they look at the video game. I have never played a video game was like, oh my God, this is an object. You gotta already think like that to think like that, bro. You can't. No game has told you to do that, bro. Come on, bro. That is so wrong. Something in your life told you to think like this, or nobody corrected your terrible thinking. Your parents didn't do their job, or you just a piece of shit. No game has ever done this, bro. No game has told anybody to do that, bro. What are they talking about?
There are women as objects in video games, and there are women as rewards in video games. These males will then go out and emulate this objectification and reward expectancy on real women. You know, misogyny. In 2022, a meta-analysis was conducted on 18 studies. This meta-analysis was titled, "Does Sexualization in Video Games Cause Harm in Players?" A meta-analytic examination. Meta-analysis basically compiles and compares multiple studies in search for correlated data to draw a wider insight on an issue. Here is the abstract of the study, to quote, "Whether video games with sexualized content do or do not relate to mental health and body image problems in players and or sexualization and hostility towards women is an issue of broad public interest. However, evidence from empirical studies has generally..."
Okay. It's an issue of broad public interest. So does that mean that it's not a video game problem, right? It's from people who already got mental health issues, and just the game is pushing the mental health issues forward because they already had it, not because of the game is necessarily telling them to, yeah, you're thinking right. They playing the game and they like, yeah, I'm thinking right. Nobody's telling them. They just are confirming their own opinion through the game, which is not telling them that shit is right. They just doing it because nobody can say it's wrong. You know what I mean? Go outside, touch grass, talk. Yes, that's the gist. That's what I've been saying since the first couple minutes of this video. Go outside, touch grass, talk to people, learn how people work. That'll solve a lot of issues, but a lot of people don't want to do that because, you know, everybody that think they right. So they ain't gonna be like, nigga, no, women should be like video games. And ain't nobody gonna say no because they don't even know you thinking like that, bro. So, and then if you do it on an internet setting, especially Twitter, this is why I say Twitter is the worst place to argue ever. Because you can be on Twitter with the wrongest, dumbest, most idiotic opinion ever, and somebody can just dispute every point you had, and people on Twitter will still be like, nope, I'm right, you're wrong, and that's it. No good conversations happen from the internet, well, on Twitter anyway. So they you can't even really correct them unless you know them. Cause like, bruh, you can get cooked on quote tweets all day and still keep the same opinion. Like, dog, it don't matter. It don't ever matter, bro.
Generally been mixed. To examine this issue, we explored the degree to which sexualization in games was related to both well-being, body dissatisfaction, and sexism, misogyny among players in two separate meta-analyses.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly.
Results revealed that sexualization in games was neither related to well-being, body dissatisfaction, or sexism.
No, wise, don't do that to people that use their finger to read in school, because I did that too. I don't do that. Listen, we are not all the same. My little dyslexic ass had to use my finger too, damn it. But I'll tell you one thing, I don't think like this. I'm not this damn motherfucking bad, bro. Come on.
Better design studies and
Twitter
those
is
that
definitely
showed
not
less
nothing,
evidence for
bro.
researcher expectancy effects tended to find less
They definitely
evidence
double
for
down
effects.
and be loud and
As
wrong
appears
and be
commonly
cool.
in
Like,
other realms of media
it's just
effects,
great.
the evidence is
They
weak
think
that
it's just
sexualized
great.
games influence player attitudes and behavior. End quote. What's interesting here is not only does sexualization not have a measurable effect on body image or sexism, but it actually exposes that we've been lied to. If you didn't catch it, studies that showed less evidence for expectancy effects tended to find less evidence for effects. This is scientist for studies that had an agenda made up evidence for their agenda. Or if you like, my personal twist, if the research came out of movements like body positivity or feminism, they were bullshit. I have some thoughts on this, one being that people that think that Bayonetta is not a sexually objectified character are leaving out a major variable, and that is you as the player. Ultimately, the sexuality of Bayonetta is for the player, male or female, to be enjoyed and admired. The mental gymnastics people go through to characterize it as wholesome in comparison to other forms of sexualization.
Who called Bayonetta wholesome? If there is a study and they called Bayonetta wholesome, please remove whatever license allowed them to make that study and retest them with a harder test and fail them even if they get it right, because it don't make sense. How is she wholesome? If y'all gonna say Stellar Blade is sexualized but not Bayonetta, y'all crazy.
is baffling. All these people are really doing is bullshitting themselves
Outrageous.
because the idea that a female designer could sexualize a character in a way that is sexually objectifying is incongruent with their belief system that relies on the idea that all women are equally repulsed and afraid of how men view women in video games. Oh, you're a female designer?
Oh God, bro.
Well, I guess it's empowering now. The God of War 3 sex minigame with Aphrodite was also designed by females. You know, the one that hypersexualizes the woman in the scene, where they beg you to pleasure them and then praise and reward you for your outstanding skill. Is this one empowering now, or were the women that made it confused, brainwashed, or evil? I have so many questions, but let's get back to Bayonetta. Like, don't get me wrong, I can tell the difference. Like, yes, it's all explained. It's her character, yada yada yada, but I don't care. I can still undress her like a Barbie doll. You see what I'm getting at here? The other is that all video game characters
whatever that
are
movie is
ultimately
hilarious,
objects. These are not real people.
I wish Bayonetta was like,
Tifa and tell her that you had dirty thoughts about her cleavage. Cammy doesn't know that I lost the match because I was distracted by her ass. Even if I scream it at the top of my lungs, this is so obvious it hurts. Most people know that video games are a work of fiction and that there is a distinct difference between what happens in a video game and the social expectations of real life. How many studies are there that prove that you can shoot everyone in the street in GTA and turn off your PC and walk an old lady across the road without having a single murderous thought? Does it not then stand to reason that you can sexually objectify a fictional character and then not project that fantasy into your day-to-day life?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that makes super sense, bro. How many times have y'all seen me go super crazy over, even in this video, super crazy over some titties I just seen? Dog, I'm excited right now. I see Pixel titties on the screen, I'm getting excited, bro. You think I'm going outside, going to my local grocery store and seeing a girl with big titties and I'm like, oh my God, bro, damn, this so on fire. Ugly, no. Come on, man. I mean, I can't say who does that because I'm pretty sure there's people that does that, but normal people are not doing that just because they see titties in a video game. Hell, I see titties in real life. Nigga, come on, man. These don't correlate.
I think that you can sexually objectify a character in a work of fiction without it turning to sexual arousal and then acting on it. These are easy questions to answer, but I don't think anyone was truly listening, which I find pathetic. I think the great tragedy here isn't that males making video games are creating misogynists, but that there are a loud minority of people that don't understand how the average male even perceives sexuality, which is kind of funny because it's really simple, but they still manage to miss the part where we're generally not
I don't know
animals.
what that, honestly, I can't even, I wouldn't even be able to tell them what the average male perceives sexuality as, because there's so many, like I said in that other video we just watched, there's 65% of males that's not having sex. I'm talking of age males. So they couldn't even tell you what the fuck it is either. So I mean, but to say that this gaming is doing that is weird.
Think about it. Now, all this does nothing to address that a great deal of females feel put off by cheap sexualization in video games. This is understandable, but we can refer back to the wristwatch study for that. This is going to address concern number 3, that being that sexualization is distracting and breaks immersion. In fact, I can give an example of when I found the sexualization of a female character in a video game a little weird. I recently did a review on Red Alert 2, which is a great game.
It can definitely become too much.
Acting as Tanya, who is supposed to basically be the military version of Lara Croft. Her in-game voice lines are pretty.
It's not hard to get some. This don't be me. If it wasn't hard to get some these days, the percentage wouldn't be 65. It's harder to get some than not for some people. I mean, I can list a number of things of why, but you know. It'll take all
like a 90s action hero. In the acted scenes, though, she was just annoyed the whole time. Not action hero annoyed, like Karen annoyed. That was confusing enough, but what was really off-putting to me was when she suddenly fancies you at the end of the game and wants to go on a date. In the scene, she suddenly reveals her sexy black dress beneath her coat. Now, this isn't upsetting to me, like, I don't really care, but because of the contrived romance and the split personalities, she definitely came across as a weak and unconvincing character to me. Again, I'm not bothered by it, and I think that there are a lot of females that really don't care about it either, but I do feel like it would have improved the game if they paid more attention to her character and didn't muddy it by shoehorning surprise.
It's like every time something violent happened, they blame video games too. So they like, oh shit, it's a lot of misogyny out here. I guess that's video games' fault because they got all these titties. Like, bro, how is video games the first thing? There's also a lot of misogyny out here because of women. Y'all ever thought of like these sex workers probably not having the best idea on men that's like fucking not in their right mind because they can literally buy your pussy for $5? So you don't think that was a bad idea? Like that why didn't we start there? Or the podcast, yeah, the little anti-women podcast, the red pill podcast. Like you don't think that's more of an issue than some titties in a video game, bro? Y'all don't think that's an issue? Like, bro, those both of those things actively objectify women in real life. These are real life things that we're talking about now, not video games. Like video games, here you can objectify some pixels on the screen. Wow, you can objectify real women in real life on OnlyFans. Like, bro, what do you mean? Like, it's I don't know. It's much bigger problems adding towards these dudes thinking women is like objects than video games is what I'm saying.
Romance. I'd go a step further. It would have made more sense if Tanya had a sex scene with a random soldier.
Neither one of those
Think
things
Private
are
Dizzy
stopping,
from
that's
Starship Troopers, and we're getting close to what I believe players would expect Tanya to be like. But honestly, I could have just done with something more simple, like, I don't know, we drink beers together or something. I don't know. I don't drink beer, but it still fits better. Anyways, scenarios like this are more prevalent in the eyes of females. I'm often going to gloss over the scenarios
yeah,
where
fixing
the
actual issues.
Ooh,
what game is this?
Or the moment
fixing actual issues are hard. I mean, it's hard.
Character because ultimately it's pleasing to me that
exactly
they do that.
why they would take
so
the
what
easy
is someone
route,
to do
you
here where they
lied.
feel like they're the minority,
They
where they
so
feel like
annoying.
they would like a video game if it wasn't for that one thing? If you could just flip a switch and make the sexualization more nuanced or more in line with your interests, well, I'll tell you how to piss off everyone and look like a clown. Start advocating that developers retcon and purge their current IPs and fan bases.
What's the point of this?
Clown. Start advocating.
What is the point of this? Like, okay, we made our character fatter. What did that do? Like, I'm fat. I like fat people. I like fat women. What did this change? I'm like, I could still just as easy sexualize this motherfucker on the right. I could still pull my shit out, go to my bed, and beat till the day is fucking new, nigga. And it's still the. What did it change? Why change it? What did it do? Is this you saying she not like she still look good? Like, bro, wow, she's thick now. I'm not, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm thinking just gonna retract itself, or I'm still gonna have the time of my life if that's what I wanted to do.
Like, bro, that developers retcon and purge their current IPs and fan bases. This is one of the most insane.
On this, she looked better on the right this time anyway. Bro, what is the problem here? What is this doing? I'm gonna be if I had to pick which one I'm taking home, I'm taking home the right one anyway.
Main things I've seen in our modern era, and I think a lot of it is built on the false narrative that video games
like, what
breed
is they
sexism.
Doing?
But let's move on because there's smarter options. The smarter option is to advocate for new games and IPs you want to see. This does still get backlash at times from real misogynists, because again, they do exist, and there are misogynists that play video games. Now, while this is smarter, I don't think it quite works. And once again, I'm going to make an appeal to common sense here. If 46% of gamers are female in the US, and we can extrapolate that to the entire Western audience, and let's assume that they reach some sort of consensus on how they want games to change, then those games would already exist to fill the demand. This leads me to believe one of two things, and it's likely a mixture of them. The first is that only Omega level nerds even talk about these issues, and the broad population.
That is a good point. He is spitting. That is a very good point. Cause back when I was like super casual game, like I used to come home from school, come home from work, play my games. I'm not on gaming Twitter. I was the part of the majority at that time. The majority of people is don't give a fuck. don't give a half a fuck. Not a fuck. So, you know what I mean? I would have never cared about these issues back in the day. And that was like most of my life as a gamer was casual, not paying attention to the industry, not caring about other people's takes or nothing. I really only care about it now because I'm like a content creator and I can make videos out of it. But Back then, not I ain't give a damn who was naked on the cover, nigga. And that's most people, because most people don't look into this like this. So yeah, it's just industry journalists trying to be. Well, I don't know. I don't like using the term woke because it's so the word is so killed. Like they ruin that word so much, but most people just don't care
of gamers just
enough
consume
to
games and
change
don't care about the quality of the content or the future projection of the hobby. There is no consensus, and there aren't enough female gamers that care enough about it to want the change. This is the simple explanation. The second is that maybe there aren't as many female gamers as we think there are playing games as a hobby. Think about this. You can make money by playing video games.
I said that 50, that 46% is wrong.
Video games by streaming over on sites like Twitch. How many of you work a job you don't want to work, but the pay is good, or it enables you to live a lifestyle you enjoy? So then is it not possible that there are a percentage of both males and females that earn a living playing video games online, but are not interested in the landscape of gaming at all? In fact, maybe they never want things to change because their popularity is tied to a specific game. Now, out of males and females, and considering what we've just learned about the tastes of males, which sex do you think is more likely to be able to leverage playing video games as a business without caring that much about video games? For a case study, let's consider Amaranth, who is the top female streamer on Twitch. Now, hold on, Amaranth play games though. Video games, but she did play quite a bit of Diablo 4 while the game was relevant. However, we can surmise that Amaranth doesn't really.
Bruh, nah, hell nah, y'all gotta see this, bruh. This is why in my next life, God, I swear, I better be pretty and white, and I better be born in America. I'm talking, yeah, pretty fucking. Look at this. Look at what she's doing, busting it open under the camera. I would love if I could pull my shit out and bust it in front of y'all right now and just get millions of dollars, $2 million a month to bust it open and play stupid ass games. Like, bro, come on, man. What type of dude rolls up a black male? Why did I do that? My next build will be optimal. I don't care if I can't say nigga no more. That's 11. I don't care. I'll say it when nobody's listening. Give me white pretty female. Please. Oh my goodness, this is this easy, bro. Dog. I want to do this and everybody be on Twitter be like, oh, y'all just jealous. Nigga, we know. I'm jealous as fuck. I'm upset. I want to do this. I want to bust it open for y'all every day and get millions of dollars. And is that so hard? Man, come on, bruh. Damn, I lost chat going on my rant.
Love video games, and she has gone on record stating that her true passion is animal rescue. Here's her words in an interview in 2021. To quote, "My passion at the end of the day is animals, and I want to do an animal rescue using my platforms, but right now we're just saving money, milking it while it's good." End quote. Now there's another layer to this.
Look at it, busting it again.
I know it, everyone knows it. Amaranth's main business, or a large source of her business, comes from selling her porn content online in the form of OnlyFans. It's against terms of service to have adult content linked on Twitch, but it's common practice for streamers like Amaranth to link to a site that contains links that go directly to their adult content. And obviously, it's no surprise.
I'm a rebirth, bro. I'm a fucking rebirth. I'm gonna have my second awakening, like Solo Leveling. And I'm gonna be like, nigga, make me a white woman right now. And I'm talking a beautiful white woman. Fine as hell, just fine and fuck all that, bro.
Is that her paid OnlyFans link is the top link. In essence, there are many female streamers that use Twitch and the gaming community as a street corner from which they can peddle pornography. Now, I cannot speak on behalf of Amaranth, but if you were to ask her if she played a lot of Diablo 4, she would probably say yes. If you asked her if she played Diablo 4 on stream because she loves gaming, I'm not sure what answer you'd get, but I suspect that the honest answer is that she enjoys the money she is receiving. Don't blame Amaranth or any of these girls, by the way.
I don't blame her at all.
They wouldn't be doing it if men didn't keep buying it. And second, Twitch is well aware of what is happening, and they have decided not to alter the TOS.
You know what I don't like is when we like say these things, like these obviously true facts, of y'all are just on here to make the money, which is fine. Nobody is. I'm not. I don't give a fuck personally, and I would do it if I could. What bothers me is when they be like, "No, passionate. I love gaming. I love video games." Like, just don't lie to me, bro. Just say you want me to buy your OnlyFans, man. Shit. Just tell me the truth.
It. Now, obviously, this behavior is a spectrum, and I'm using Amaranth as an example, but she's not really the target here. The female streamers that I'm thinking of are lower down, the ones that aren't really taking risks. They kind of just play League of Legends and generally keep things above board. Maybe they have a discount code to Rogue Energy or something, maybe a cheeky cosplay here or there, where they felt they looked
these
cute,
are real gamers,
and their dominantly male community
gamers.
nods along and says, yes, very cute. You should do another one. Here's my question. If Twitch turned around tomorrow and said,
I feel like
Twitch
the girls
will
that he
only
just
have video games streaming, Twitch will no longer be a platform you can earn money on. You can't embed links, and the moment you try to verbally or otherwise advertise anything other than the video game you're playing, you will be banned for 8 hours.
Okay. This kind of disingenuous, because even I would leave Twitch. If Twitch came out with that, I don't have an OnlyFans that has content on it. I have one, but it ain't got nothing to post it. I'm still leaving Twitch if they ever said some crazy stuff like that. I don't think nobody would stay. And nobody's that passionate about streaming. Well, now, okay. The people that never hit affiliate anyway are going to stay. Because they was here streaming for 4 years to one viewer the whole time. They have pulled back up like, oh, wasn't making nothing anyway. You got to keep going. Like, they going to stay. Nobody is going to stay on here, bro.
How many streamers, male or female, would stream? I obviously don't know the answer, but I think it's going to be something similar to the ratio of male to female solo devs. I think most people would leave, and there would be mostly guys that are really passionate about sharing video games and a handful of females. But I generally think that the cut would be more severe for females. Let me know what your prediction would be in the comments. What I'm getting at here is that nowadays there are incentives to play video games beyond the personal enjoyment of playing video games. I suspect that of the 46%—
I swear to God, ain't no amount of apology from Twitch gonna recover it. Honestly, bro, I would be looking into other streaming shits that's not Kick, because I don't really fuck with Kick either. I might just be like a vertical streamer after that. I was actually thinking of starting vertical streaming soon, like doing both, like a YouTube, because you can stream the YouTube Shorts now. You can stream the TikTok. So I would probably just do one of them, like a YouTube Shorts type beat, YouTube streaming. Even though I don't really rock with YouTube streaming like that, but I ain't no amount of apology. They gonna have to hand me some money to come back. They gonna have to hand me some money. Like, bro, I need some cash. I need 10K to come back, bro.
Female gamers, there is a percentage that are actually closer on the spectrum to businesswoman. Now, just to be clear, I'm not excluding that it's also true for males, but I suspect that number to be lower as a percentage due to findings in video game addiction studies that conclude that males distinctly feel more rewarded when playing video games that involve territory control. I know that's very specific, but think it through. A lot of video games boil down to territory control or an allegory of it. So appropriating established IPs is gross, and maybe females don't exactly have the voice they think they do. The very best way to see the world of video games you want to see is to put your head down, make the game you want to see, and get in there with everyone else. This is how video games started, and this is how new ideas are being created.
That's true, but that is also very hard to do. Just telling people that, you want to see this change, make the game. To be honest, if your change in the game is not represented for every gamer, your game is gonna fail. So you just wasted possibly millions of dollars or a lot of time making a garbage game. Cause I couldn't see one of them not overhyped, one of those over sensitive games taking off right now. Who's playing that? Nobody's playing that. The woke people don't buy games. They just tweet. They're unemployed. How are they gonna buy your game? They just sit in sit in Twitter Spaces all day. They couldn't do that.
These ideas shape the future of gaming. Dota was a Warcraft mod.
I'm talking
now
about
it's an entire genre.
Yeah, no, okay. I'm good at Tekken because I put the effort in, but being good at video game development don't necessarily mean your game gonna sell. You can make a good game with terrible what's it called? Values and like all this woke stuff in it. Who gonna buy it? Who gonna buy it? You ain't gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy it. Oh yeah, it's a cool game, but it's got too much virtual signaling in it. I don't really want to be preached to all day about how white people are terrible and men are pigs and yeah, just stuff I genuinely don't want to hear all day. Ain't nobody buying that shit, bro. There's gonna be a couple five Twitter folks buy it, play it for 2 hours, drop it, and complain about Twitter. Something else on Twitter, bro. I mean,
and the most successful esports genre on PC. PUBG was a mod that impacted all gaming and spawned the battle royale genre. What's interesting is that most new genres and new ways of engaging with video games are not top-down. The commercial gaming industry doesn't necessarily govern the direction of gaming because changing direction is expensive and risky. The commercial gaming industry's aim is to preserve the status quo and maximize profits within that framework. It's gamers, be that male or female, that set the direction when they invest in game creation. What has been true since the dawn of time and will be true until the sun dies is that great games will flourish. So make great games, and if they have sexualization, then do it your way and be the change. Like I mentioned before, solo development and modding is an open playing field. There are no gates. Gamers have never had so much freedom to engage in shaping the world of gaming. Sadly, the stupid option is the easiest option, and people are kind of like a mixture of cats and water, so they're going to take the easiest path and screech the entire way down. But the old adage is still true: anything that is really worth doing is hard work. All this to say, if you really want this change, the ball's in your court. There are already women out there working toward a more female inclusive future. I would love it if there were more games that were focused on
Amy Hennig fire. I love me some Amy Hennig.
I won't play them, but maybe my wife will. That would be nice. We're drawing to a close here, and it really has been a journey writing this. I mean, I always suspected that things like feminist frequency and co were bullshit, but it's crazy to me that our best study on the topic is largely ignored because it doesn't fit the narrative of our time. I feel equal parts vindicated and angry, and I think I'm justified in feeling this way too. For so many years, there has been this sexist movement that has infiltrated our general populace and demanded that I feel shame for something that has never had a negative bearing on my personal life as a married man. Not claiming that there aren't damaged people that cannot interface with fiction, but most people aren't
there are
like
definitely
that.
damaged people that
tend
can't
to try to
fiction.
focus on how they're different more than how they are the
same.
People be giving
gamers bad reps saying we all
different
like that.
Species. We are far more the same than different. There are differences, and we've been explaining them, but anytime there is a behavior that is difficult to understand or accept, it's far easier to denounce the behavior than try to understand it. I see this as a modern plague in our thinking. I want to recognize that I understand that there is a deficiency in video games aimed toward female tastes, especially in the realm of sexualization where it's financially beneficial to target males. Now, I know that I'm a male, so perhaps my train of thought sounds self-serving.
Welcome to the real world facts.
So then why are so many female streamers self-selecting to sell lewd photos of themselves? Don't strain yourself. The reason is that they have reached the same conclusion I have, and there is nothing quite as beautiful as when people agree with you by demonstrating it with their actions. Note that OnlyFans is almost exclusively a female domain and voluntary. In case we didn't have enough evidence that it's not lucrative to target female tastes, another example just jumps out of the bushes. Once we remove the incentive of pay, job security, and lifestyle, and we remove gatekeeping, sexism, and racism, if we focus on those scenarios where passion and obsession are the primary driver for game creation, there isn't a lot of evidence to say that females as a cohort want to express female sexualization or even make video games at all. This stands in stark contrast to the accounts of game developers in the 80s that fiercely pursued game creation, risking their finances and relationships in hope of personal fulfillment. If there is a desire to see the video game sexualization landscape change, I can only surmise that more female devs need to take risks. At least to the same degree males females have demonstrated. While I understand that female sexualization and objectification in video games makes females uncomfortable, I think this is fine. Reading female-targeted erotica or romances make my stomach churn with the misrepresentation of males. But I will never call for it to change because I can choose not to engage with it. Or I can say it this way, I don't see a problem with a piece of media or work of art making people uncomfortable if it has an audience that enjoy it, following that it is benign or has a positive influence on society. Sexualization in video games is going nowhere. Sexuality is so intrinsically part of the human experience that it can't be ignored entirely, and it shouldn't be. It should be embraced in a healthy way, without fake science. My hope moving forward is that game developers will work towards making more granular forms of self-censorship. Maybe you can toggle breast reduction on or off, or something like that, for example. I think more importantly, it would be great if there were more targeted options for females, rather than the current push for more androgynous designs that successfully offend no one, but also no one likes them outside of political causes. I want to make this really clear. I want more games that would make me feel uncomfortable as a male, but you stay away from Chun-Li's thighs, you hear me? I don't think it's reasonable to expect praise for appropriation. Anyways, I hope this video was enlightening.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm fine with both. Like, I don't mind none of these games being over-sexualized. I genuinely do not care. Like, I'm fine with them both happening. I think they should both happen. I think we should have over-sexualized both ways. You know what I mean? But that's pretty much the end of that video. I think he brought up some real good points. I don't think it'll ever change. Like, I don't think the sexualization and body image is going nowhere, especially versus seeing how profitable it is. As much as they want to make these ugly characters, even quote unquote ugly characters, they talking about making people thicker. Like, that ain't even, what's the point? Just let the artists make who they want to make, bro. I don't know. It's kind of weird that the industry be getting, like, pushing that way sometimes, but I don't never see it fully changing. That's why I hope Stellar Blade is very successful. I doubt it win Game of the Year or even get nominated at all for Game of the Year, but I hope it get at least Action Game of the Year or something, so people can see that it's okay to make these type of games. And yeah, man, that's my closing shit on it for real.